Well, good evening, everyone, and happy Thursday. Welcome to another Thursday night live stream, hangout, chit chat, whatever you want to call it. Hope you're all having a good week so far. We're just here for usually about an hour on Thursday nights just to get caught up and see how everyone's doing out in the YouTube world. We can start off, see who was early in the house here. We've got Nikki Silver Stacker stopped in early. They're working, but we'll try and stop in later. It's good to see you. Tiffany was here before the stream started. Lynn was here as well. Joe's in the house. Got Brenda Foley is here. Our longest standing member is present for this evening's live stream. Good to see you, Brenda. Paul and Jason are here. Loretta and Jason are here. It's good to see you both. Scratching Pete is here. Karma is in the house. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate any time any of you can spend with me here on a Thursday night. Again, nothing too specific to talk about this week as usual, but we'll just sort of talk about where the whatever comes up in the chat and see if we can find a few other things to go over. Jeremy is here. Thank you for coming in, Jeremy. Appreciate you being here. Amy is here as well. Rocking Coach Amy. It's good to see you. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Let's make sure we're not missing anyone here. If you have a channel, you can just type #Thrive in the chat and Nightbot will drop your link for you. Tom Garvey's here. It's good to see you, Tom. Thanks for coming by. Tom and I go way back in these YouTube streets, that's for sure. How's it going? It's going all right. You know, as you might see, I am a Toronto Blue Jays fan, so it has been a good week so far. How good of a week depends on how tomorrow and Saturday goes, I guess. But the Toronto Blue Jays are back in the World Series for the first time in 32 years. So yeah, it's been a pretty exciting few weeks for sure. Or a few days anyways. Dr. John Smith is here. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you dropping by the live stream. Make sure back to every Thursday. Yeah, as far as scheduling goes, as far as I know, barring any thing that comes up that is unexpected, I will be here each Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. For the foreseeable future anyways. Yes, it is exciting that Keto Palooza will be back for 2026. I don't know if there's any new information out there. What is it? Low carb events. If you're ever looking for a low carb or keto or carnivore event to go to, lowcarbevents.com is a website that Chris Bear puts together that sort of lists all of the upcoming events. You can usually find information there. It does not look like there's any more specific about Keto Palooza yet. Cost event category doesn't say. I'm assuming it's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky again. From what I know or from what I've heard, it won't be in the same exact venue, but Louisville's a nice area for sure. So definitely excited to get back to Keto Palooza next year. That is for sure. Let's talk about your new ice cream maker. Yeah, I haven't had any, haven't had a chance to um, use it anymore yet. The um, I did take the ice cream that I made and I put it in the freezer just to see what would happen to it, and it got pretty hard and pretty crystallized. Uh, the So ultimately, and again, it wasn't the Dash Mini's fault, and probably not even my fault. It's just I didn't probably use the right mix in it, and I probably should have put it in the freezer again for a little bit before I tried it. So mistakes were made. I've never used an ice cream maker before, so I'm not really surprised that it didn't go quite to planned. But yeah, no, I haven't tried it with any other recipes yet. I'm definitely might lean on it for a few pieces of content coming up in the future. Seeing if I can find some different recipes to try. I know I was talking to Jesse from Jesse Journals and Inboxes, and I told her I'd try and find a dairy-free ice cream recipe that I could make that's also suitable for keto, low carb. So I think it opens up a few more opportunities for content for sure. Hopefully everyone would welcome that kind of content. Again, I know it's one of those things where the chaffles are definitely the most watched content on my channel, and I get it. I like making them too. So when I sort of branch out and do other things, a lot of the times it's not watched as much, but I think it can definitely be a thing to try different things. And it's not like I'm going to completely switch from chaffles to ice cream. But we'll definitely have some fun with it for sure. Henry's here. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. I just want to make sure we're not missing anyone. We've got Tuber Chat, Connect and Grow in the house. Good to see you, Kevin. Hopefully you're feeling better. I know you had to reschedule your live stream tonight, but it happens for sure. So, like I say, hopefully you're feeling better. Let's see here. Make sure we're not missing anyone. Everyone's talking back and forth. As far as I'm concerned at this point, yes, I will definitely plan on going to Ketopalooza in 2026. Again, it's one of those things where I would have to wait until closer to the event to be sure, but I would definitely like to go back. I really enjoy the event. It's great meeting a lot of different people, both from like the YouTube community and from outside the community. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Chaffle King. Well, yeah, I try, Tom. I know it's I don't want to. Yeah, I like the thing with it is that it seems to be a topic or a kind of content that my audience really enjoys, and that's what I enjoy most, is trying to put out content that people really like. And I always get, quite often get comments, even months down the road, from people saying, "Oh, I tried this chaffle yesterday and it was really good." And those kind of things really make my day and make it seem even more worth doing that kind of content for people. Again, I'm just here to try and share what I know to maybe help with other people coming up with ideas for what they can eat when they're low carb or keto or carnivore. Let's see what else is going on here. I saw that Tour Chat gifted a membership. Thank you for that, Kevin. Much appreciated. Ice cream on a chaffle. I have done that. I do have a chaffle ice cream sandwich that I did a while back, but I just used I can't remember what kind of ice cream. Like I used a keto ice cream. I just bought it. The nice thing about that is that it came in like one of those short tubs, so I could just slice a piece of the tub, and it was round already, about the right size to fit on a chaffle. And I think I made chocolate chip chaffles to make like a chocolate chip ice cream chaffle. So it's definitely a thing for sure. Yeah. So thanks for gifting that membership, Kevin. Really appreciate it. I think that Jeremy picked that up, so I'm sure he'll be happy to have that. Tom has super chatted $5. Thanks for that, Tom. I really appreciate it. Definitely not necessarily, but yes, very appreciated for sure. Jesse is here. Your ears must have been ringing. I was talking about our chat we had about trying to find a dairy-free ice cream recipe. I've been looking around, and there's a few things that I might be able to try. I don't know. It seems like the main replacement ingredient for dairy in an ice cream recipe that I have found is coconut milk. So I don't know if you're okay with nut milks or not, but that is what I have sort of stumbled across so far. Again, I haven't tried to actually make anything, but there seems to be a lot of different recipes out there. Chaffles are legit for sure. Like you say, it's one of those things where, I've always tried to encourage people to find things that resonate with your audience. As far as, the content that you're putting out, obviously you want to be making content that you're happy with as well, because if you're not happy with the content that you're making and you're just putting out content that you're just trying to get views from, and it's not something that you enjoy doing, I think, and I'm sure everyone else here probably would agree that, trying to force content that you're not, passionate about can come through in the content. So I always recommend trying to find something that you can really, put your heart into. And, for me, making recipes basically seems to be the best way that I can give back to the community. So coconut milk was best alternatives I found too. Still just not the same or worth calories in my option. Yeah. Well, let me see what I can do with it, Jesse. I'll see if I can figure something else out that can make it dairy-free and low calorie. We can probably figure that out and without too much trouble. So Emotion New Soul is here. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Matt and Mouse in the house. Thanks, guys, for coming by. Hopefully everything, I don't know what your weather's like on the West Coast right now. It's been kind of miserable and rainy here for the past pretty much all week. But supposed to clear up a little bit next week. Dr. John Smith's having a lousy Thursday in the middle of prep for tomorrow's colonoscopy. Yeah, that never a good time. So yeah, hopefully that goes well. Kendra is here. Thanks for coming in, Kendra. Appreciate you being here. Can't stay, but here as long as you can. Well, again, I appreciate any time that any of you can spend here. The Thursday nights are just for hanging out and catching up and seeing how everyone's doing. Amy had surgery on Monday, and they gave me glucose in an IV bag, and my cravings are through the roof. Yeah, no doubt. That's crazy, but yeah, hopefully you can sort of get right back on track and get rid of those cravings again. Everyone's saying hi. Would banana milk work for the ice cream alternative? I've seen it, but never tried it. So I've never even heard of banana milk, Karma. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure it would taste pretty good. That's for sure. Sounds like me right now. I'm so sick of chicken bone broth and Jello. Yeah, no doubt. Everyone is talking back and forth. We're not missing anyone, so that's good. Weather's been pretty wet this week. Yeah, it's definitely feeling more like fall for sure. It hasn't really felt like October until the last week or so. So yeah, it's definitely feeling like fall now. That's for sure. Like it hasn't really gotten cold yet, which is nice, but it's been rainy for a few days in a row now. Feeling good other than pain in my stomach and chest pain from the CO. Yeah. Sorry, busy. Yep, no worries. Thanks for hanging out in the background, even if you're not busy in the chat. Like I say, everyone's got things they got to do. So even if you're in the background, I definitely appreciate it. On the plus side, hanging out here on a Thursday night is very welcome, worthwhile distraction. Well, I'm happy to be of service for you tonight. Again, if you haven't seen Dr. John Smith's pretzel chaffle recipe video that went up last week, or no, it wasn't last Saturday, but the Saturday before. It's a really cool video, really interesting recipe. And the keto community definitely seemed to really appreciate it, and we're happy to watch the video and got lots of good comments on it. So yeah, if you haven't seen that one, definitely go check it out. Dr. John sent me that recipe, just volunteered and sent it to me in an email. So I was happy to give it a try. And if anyone else has something in mind, and you don't make videos or whatever, and you just want to see how it turns out as a video, feel free to send it to me by email, just jasonketo@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to give it a try and see how things go. Like I say, I'm always excited to try your recipes as well. I do try to come out with new chaffle recipes every week, but sometimes it could be a little tough. We're going to have to start sort of remixing past videos and past recipes and, putting two of them together and see how they turn out. I think we'll have to get into that fairly soon. So Pasha D is here. Thank you for coming in. I'm not sure if you've been here before, but welcome to the live stream. We're just hanging out, chatting with everybody here on a Thursday night. What does my mug say? So it says, if Papa can't fix it, we're screwed. That was for my grandkids. I like it too because it's a nice big heavy bottom mug. But yeah. Yeah, not fun downing 8 ounces of solution every 10 minutes. No doubt. I'm going to hit you up. Come on my podcast. Yeah, anytime, Tom. I'm available most times. I know we've done each other's shows before, so I would be happy to do that for sure. It's been really cold at night, 50s and 60s in the day here in Southwest Idaho. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's like I say, it's definitely cooling off at night here. But during the day, it hasn't been too bad, sort of still just in sweater weather for us. So Driving Daily is here. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you coming to the live stream. Again, not getting into anything too specific this week. And that's the other thing. If there's any specific topics anyone would like to, dive into on a Thursday night, one of these Thursday nights, just send it to me in an email, and we can definitely sort of dive deeper into different parts of the keto, low carb, PhD, carnivore world kind of thing, or even YouTube chat as well. Like, there is a lot of creators here, a lot of people that don't create content as well, but these live streams usually go one of two ways. We either usually speak or talk more about, the keto side of things, or sometimes it sort of drifts into the YouTube world and we start talking about things like that, but which hopefully doesn't bore the non-creators in the crowd. But like I say, we don't really get too serious here. I just want to, get on here and talk to all of you once a week and see what everyone is up to. Amy, I haven't filmed and edited videos since start of the PhD coaching. Yep. Yeah, well, I'm sure that definitely takes up some time, but I'm sure it will be well worth it. Thank you for sharing that link, Pete. Appreciate it. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep after you drink the stuff. Yeah, no doubt. Cool. Thanks for sharing that out. If it's content that can be helpful to your mother, I'm definitely, if you have anyone in your life that, a lot of people here, even the creators that are here, most of them aren't sort of in the keto, low carb, carnivore space that, me and some of my friends are in. But if you have someone in your life that is struggling and needs some help, that's what we're here for. So, feel free to share out some of the videos or the channel or whatever. We're always here. This community is great at supporting in any way we can. Have to run, do my best. Come back. Well, thank you for stopping by. I definitely appreciate it. Like I say, we all have busy lives, and anytime I'm at live streams, it's the same thing. We have to do what we have to do, and if we bounce around between multiple live streams, which definitely happens a lot when you continue to sort of connect with more and more creators, especially from communities like Tuber Chat, Connect and Grow. Every time we meet new creators and we meet new friends and all that, then we find ourselves with usually 2 or 3 live streams to watch every night, and all we can do is do our best. So I definitely understand that we can't spend hours at the same live stream. We all have a life too. So No chance of nodding off with what's coming next. Yeah, is for sure. Lots of chores. Yeah, that's that time of year for sure. Getting ready for winter. I got to clean up all of my garden stuff as well. I don't have a lot to do for winter, being a domesticated, not in a city, but in a town. But I don't have property I have to look after, or not a lot of property anyway. So Tiffany is back. Thanks for coming back, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. We're back. Sorry, we were lurking. We were eating a late dinner. That's perfectly fine as well. I didn't start. I didn't start eating my supper until what was it, 6:15, something like that tonight. And in that note, if everyone wants to let us know what was for supper tonight, we can always talk about that. I had a frittata with just ground beef, eggs, and cheese. One of those fairly easy, simple, but fairly boring meals, but it also, fills me up, and I definitely don't have the need to eat anything else the rest of the night. Let's make sure we're not missing any comments. Nice haul video. You'll have to go back and watch that. I did see that you posted a video, Tiffany. It's in the kitchen working on stew. Stew's always nice this time of year, that's for sure. Does YouTube allow DMs or a way to use, or for one user to contact another? No, not direct DMs. I think they used to. At one point, I don't know, Kevin or someone who's been around YouTube longer than me can chime in and say if YouTube used to have direct messaging, but no, they don't. I think Amy is mentioning the idea of one thing they're allowing, and I don't even know how it works so far, is they're going to allow you to create a post on a creator's community board, basically. Just like you see, when the creators put out a community post saying, okay, well, I'm going to be live at this time, and they share the link and all that in their community post. They're opening it up so that you can create a post on their board as well. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know exactly how it works, but that is in the works, I know. Matt Mouse have to head out. That's perfectly fine. I totally understand. Thank you for being here for the time that you could. Yep. Most creators, but if creators put their email in their bio, you can email them. Yep. Yes. Yum frittata for sure. Yeah. So yeah, for me, anytime, if anyone wants to get a hold of me for any reason, whether it's, wanting to collaborate about something or have a question or suggest a recipe or anything, the easiest way to get hold of me is at justjasonketo@gmail.com. I am on Instagram as well, just_Jason_keto. That's my handle over on Instagram, which I'm, active on all the time. So, if you want to reach out to me there as well, you can send me a message there. I personally actually started on Instagram well before I started this YouTube channel, back when the whole keto sort of world was blowing up over there, and we were getting thousands and thousands of followers. And it's definitely, but back then it was more of a, place to post your pictures and stuff like that, where it really has turned into a a platform that's more geared towards things like Reels, which, I do once in a while, but it's not my strong point. So what we will have, Hubs is working late, so probably throw a frozen pizza in and call it good. Yeah, that all works for sure. Yeah, only email. Yeah. I just tell people to hit me my IG or Kid Make an email. Yeah, and that's what I would suggest. If you're a creator and you don't have a way for people to communicate or contact you, I wouldn't put like your personal email on your bio for obvious reasons. If you're using Gmail, it's easy just to create a new Gmail account that sort of matches your YouTube channel the best you can. And then what I do, just so that I don't have to check multiple mailboxes, I just set my YouTube email address to automatically forward all emails to my personal email inbox. That way, like I say, I just get all of my emails into one email or mailbox. And then, if it's someone I don't know, I will go back and respond from my YouTube email address. But if it's someone else, then you may actually get a response from my personal mailbox. Let's make Tiffany's got to run away for a bit. So, but thank you. And I think, Kate McLean came in. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know if this is your first time at a Thursday night live stream, but welcome. Appreciate you being here. We've gained a lot of, say, friends in the last couple of weeks. It's been another one of those sort of quick growth spurts in the channel. Which seems to be the way that this channel works. It seems to be that there's some fairly steady growth in the channel, and then every once in a while we get a video that sort of gets a lot of attention, and then we pick up a great big bunch of supporters in the channel, which is what happened with that pretzel chaffle recipe. A lot of new friends came over and checked out the channel, and I really appreciate that. We're the way it's going, we may actually hit 7,000 subscribers before the end of the year, which would definitely be exciting. That is for sure. Thank you for that. Yeah, if you can hit the thumbs up for the live stream, would be appreciated. It really helps tell YouTube that we're having fun over here. Karma's got to head out. No problem, Karma. Thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. I think Henry's heading out too, so hopefully everyone has a good evening. We're, I guess the first game of the World Series starts tomorrow night. If anyone else is a baseball fan, I know we're, as a Toronto fan, we're probably, probably up against it pretty tough against LA, but, crazier things have happened, and I'm old enough to remember the Blue Jays winning in 92 and 93. It was really exciting times. I actually lived not too far from Toronto in 92. Wow, I lived the same place or area in 93, but in 92 when they won their first World Series, I think there was about 10 of us all piled in a friend's pickup truck, like in the cab and in the back, and we all drove down to Yonge Street in Toronto and drove up and down and celebrated with all the fans. So that was one of those memorable things that you just never forget. And then, of course, they won again in 93. And it's been pretty tough going for 32 years. You know, they've had playoff appearances and stuff like that, but never really got too far. So this is definitely going to be an exciting week. You know, it starts tomorrow night, and if they can force 7 games, it'll end on the 1st of November. So that will be stressful, but exciting. You know, it's one thing, playoff sports. Ultimately I'm a hockey fan more than I am a baseball fan. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are just really good at driving fans nuts every year. So it would be nice to cheer for another another team for a while. Yeah, we're getting there, Lynn. It's you know, I never even got around to doing like a 6,000 subscriber celebration or giveaway or anything. So we'll definitely have to do something fun for 7,000. Whenever it happens, it could be, you know, could be in the next couple of weeks, or could be a couple months, or, you know, you just never know, I guess. But the way I look at it is the bigger the community gets, the more chances there are for us as a community to help people. So that's what that's the way I'm looking at it. Great inspiration. It all started with the Chaffles. I lost 26 pounds and Jason has lost 30. That is awesome. You know, it's, and again, like you've always said, and I love to sort of quote your sort of philosophy, is that it doesn't have to be, you know, big 180-degree changes, right? You can just make small changes in your life, and that can make have a big impact on the way you feel and all that. So again, things like hearing things like that you know, little things that I've done, like created chaffle recipes and all that, and then seeing that you've taken that sort of inspiration and taken it to where you need to get the results that you need. That's definitely good to hear. I love baseball, probably tied for American football as my favorite sport. Yeah. It's funny. Well, yeah, back in the 80s and early 90s and that, I remember we even had the place that I worked at had season tickets for the Jays. So we were going to like 2 or 3 games every week. So we were big baseball fans back then. You know, I haven't watched it as much lately. But yeah, they seem to have put together a pretty, you know, and it's not a sort of high paid, you know, star-studded group of guys that they got this year, but they seem to have put together a group that can really come together as a family and as a team. And they've got the support of basically the whole country. Well, not the whole country, but most of the country behind them, which is a big thing. And they've got the only thing, or the biggest thing they have going for them right now is that they have the home field advantage for the World Series. So, you know, strange things can happen in professional sports. Yeah. I really do like hockey. Again, as a Toronto Maple Leaf fan, though, it's kind of they get our hopes up every year, and then they just do something that, you know, dashes those hopes year after year after year. You know, I keep hoping that in my lifetime I'll see them win the Stanley Cup, but who knows? Simple changes for sure. It's my 1-year anniversary on YouTube and 3 years on Facebook live streaming. Cool. Yeah, I think you're doing good, Amy. You know, like you're out here, I think the biggest thing that I've seen you doing more lately is networking with other creators, and you've got your own group of other creators that you do panels with on a regular basis, and I think that's a really important thing to focus on when you're trying to build up your community, and that's what you're doing. Like that, every subscriber you get to your channel is basically part of your community. And that's the support that you're going to get as a creator. And I've said it 100 times, is that it wasn't until I started networking with other creators, more specifically other creators that didn't necessarily have anything to do with the niche that I'm in, that's when the change really happened. Getting out there, getting to know other people that and seeing how they do things, and seeing how you can improve your content, hearing stories and everything else from all sorts of different creators and how they've been able to grow their communities. I think that's really where the secret is, to building up that community to a point where it turns into an organic thing. And like I think about these things probably way too often, but getting to know other creators and then having them come into your like live streams and stuff like that helps get you exposure to wider footprints on the platform. And again, you don't have to, and I don't want even, and this got nothing specifically to do with the keto low carb community. If you're a creator, network with anybody you can, any other creator out there that you can. They don't have to be in the same niche that you're in. If you expose yourself to their audience as a supporter of that creator, like I'm not talking about going to their live streams and saying, hey, like I have a channel, come check me out. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want you to do that. That's just not the way to do things. But if you get to know creators and over time you support them at live streams and everything, and you are seen by their community, you're almost guaranteed that someone in their community, even if they're not, like in this example, a keto channel, someone in their community might be looking for something to do with keto content. And that's how you get that exposure to people you may have never got put in front of. So anyways, that's just things I've thought about over the last couple of years, trying to build things. But and the other thing is just don't get discouraged. And I've already said it a few times to you, Amy, is don't worry about the size of the channel. Just worry about the watch hours for now. The friends will come along. You'll get that, no problem. You're probably almost close to having your first 500 anyways. So now, and again, I know you're in a position where your time is being stretched because of the course that you've taken on. But when you can get back into creating content, then just focus, watch hours. That's all you need to focus on, basically. I've missed Big Family Expedition coming in. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate it. Made it easy. It's not a diet. We eat well. Simple changes. Yep. Just little changes in your life. That's all it takes, right? It wasn't for Tuba Chat. It wasn't for you. We have met Jason. Yeah, it's that. And that's the other thing too. I look back now at the, and a lot of you are here, the creators that I've met through Tuber Chat and, become friends with, and, we're always running into each other all over YouTube kind of thing. And it's not just at Tuber Chat. That's sort of the catalyst, and that's the place where we can meet each other. But then we have to go out and we have to put that networking into practice, right? We can talk to each other back and forth all day for 3 hours at a Tuber Chat live stream. But then we need to go out and we need to support other channels as a group and get to know each other. I think that's where the magic is for sure. A lot to learn. Yep. Always something to learn. There's never, we're never going to know all of it. And we just have to, the other thing, and Kevin talks about this all the time too, is we have to take advantage of anything that YouTube gives us as far as tools that will help us learn, the YouTube creator channels, the, A/B testing on our titles, the A/B testing on our thumbnails and stuff like that. The, leverage that as much as you can kind of thing. And it all helps us learn. I've done or a couple of like full scale tests on the title with the A/B title testing so far. It's been interesting to see, and I'll come straight out and say it, the video review that I did for the ice cream maker. I basically had Gemini make up 3 titles for that video, and I changed all 3 of them a little bit because it never comes up with exactly with what I want to say. But then I plugged all 3 of those into the testing feature for the YouTube title, A/B testing, and then ran that for a few days. And it gave me some pretty interesting information and feedback. So, I would highly recommend making use of that for sure. Tuber Chat really helps. And, and again, it's so much about meeting great people out there. It's hard when you first start out in YouTube. If you know lots of people and you've been hanging around in a community for a while, like let's say Lynn here started a YouTube channel. I know you're not going to, Lynn, but let's say she did. She would have so many people that would automatically come check out what she's doing because she's been part of the community at large for so long, right? So, but if you're not sort of plugged in with the entire community at first, it can definitely be tough to get that start. But that's where I find the like Tuber Chat to help, because it facilitates finding a bunch of people that you can get to know in one place. Think back how I found you to begin with. Yeah. And it was on Shelly and Heath's channel. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, we went way back with Shelly and Heath as well. I'm not sure what's happening with them, or if they're going to come back with any more content. They were going pretty much every week for a while there, and then they haven't seen them for quite a while. So hopefully everything's all right over there. But yes, a lot of us met at Shelly and Heath's live streams. That's for sure. Watch hours amazing, getting 400 a month. I don't have the subs. Well, like I say, if you can keep up that 400 watch hours per month, you'll be in great shape. And if you keep on that sort of average, then again, you won't have any trouble getting the subscriber numbers. That's just not something you really have to worry about for sure. And I don't do it for money. I do it to help people get healthy and be an avenue for health coaching, my real passion. Yep. So yeah. So basically, this will be a platform to help what you're really um, interested in is the being able to work as a health coach, and that's exactly what YouTube is for. I use it as your page for your health coaching business, right? And that's where it can really push things quite quickly. Joy Joseph Lounge, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. I think you may have come in at the end of the last live stream, but thank you for dropping by. I appreciate it. I don't do A/B testing. I barely have time to make a thumbnail. Yeah, I hear you. That's that, and again, one of my sort of things that has really helped with my content creation is trying to streamline how I do things. How I film, how I edit, how I might thumbnails and descriptions and titles and all that. I try to get it to a point where it's can be as efficient as possible, because I have a full-time job too. I don't really have time to do half the stuff. We will have another recipe video out Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. I haven't done a thing with it yet. I'm going to wind up having to film it tomorrow night or Saturday morning. I'm at the point with my recipe videos that it doesn't stress me out too much, because I know that I can put them together in a couple of hours with the same sort of quality that everyone seems to enjoy. So everyone's saying hi to each other. ChatGPT and Gemini are very helpful. Yeah, I've used ChatGPT a few times. I prefer Gemini a little bit. It seems to be a little bit more in tune with what I'm trying to come up with, like for ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, it's if you don't use it, a lot of people won't use AI, and I completely understand. Some of us want to stay away from it, but I just use it as sort of inspiration for things, because unfortunately I'm just not really that creative when it comes to things like titles and stuff. Dr. John Smith is heading out. Thank you for coming in. Hopefully things go well for you tomorrow. I appreciate you spending some time with us. Lynn is in every live stream across the community. Yep. Lynn is the Scratch and Pete PA of the keto community. She is everywhere for sure. Watch hours are a true metric. Yeah, they definitely are. Especially, it's one of those things for me. Trying to get to that first level was definitely hard, but then when I got close is when I had my first sort of blow up video, and it took me way past where I needed to be. And then, knock on wood, thankfully, ever since then, it's never been an issue getting the monthly hours I need to be well over my year, what I need for the year. But yeah, it's definitely something that you have to work at. Galaxy Gal is in the house. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate you being at the live stream. Everyone's saying hi. Yeah, if you have a channel, you can drop the link for your channel. Just type #Thrive in the chat, and Nightbot will post a link for your channel. I do encourage everyone to check each other out. Like I say, we're a big group of, a lot of creators here that have sort of different kinds of content. And then we have some loyal friends and from the keto community that are here every week as well. So you can definitely link your channel using Nightbot. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully everyone is having a good week. We have, like I say, we'll have another recipe video out. We're going to stick with the 7 p.m. The on Saturday night. Yeah, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Seems to be working out all right. So we'll stick with that for the foreseeable future. And obviously we'll be back here next Thursday night for another live stream, hopefully with some good news about who's winning the World Series. But, we will have to see at that point. If the World Series is still on by next Thursday night, then the Toronto Blue Jays will have been doing better than pretty much anybody is saying they're going to. So yeah, shout out to Tuber Chat. Definitely an amazing community. Amy uses GPT as well, so that's cool. How do you do keto on a short budget? Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to try and find, don't listen to people that say you need to have like the best of everything. That question really also depends on sort of what kind of keto diet are you doing. Is it like a protein, like a meat heavy diet or keto diet, or are you just sort of trying to stay clean with, good proteins and some vegetables? And for me, I would love nothing more than to eat ribeye steaks basically every night. But, I can't even, I have a pretty decent or make a pretty decent living, and I can't even afford to have ribeyes every day. So what I look for is to get like ground beef on sale. If it goes on sale, I'll buy a few pounds of it, and then I'll vacuum seal, individual servings of the ground beef, and then try and find eggs at a decent price. A lot of times you can find them from a local farmer that has chickens. That's definitely a way to stretch your budget a little bit. Some decent vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, stuff like that. That's my sort of short answer to the question kind of thing. Just looking for things that are on sale. And then, like Paula is saying there, chaffles are a good way to, if you're missing bread or whatever, you can buy the, you can buy some hamburger patties or whatever. You can use chaffles as like burger buns, and all they are is, if you buy mozzarella cheese in bulk and then you buy some eggs, you can make like hamburger buns for a burger with 1 egg and 2/3 of a cup of shredded cheese. Right. So there's a healthy alternative to some of the, the wheat buns that are out there. Now, you have to invest like the $15 in a little waffle iron, but that's a one-time thing. So yeah, it's an interesting question. Like I say, I think it's a lot of watching for the sales that come up kind of thing. I've gotten it a lot into using my vacuum sealer for things like ground beef, and that's definitely a good investment as well, so that you can take advantage of sales when they come up. And then you just freeze portions and put it in the freezer. And then, there's so many other creators out there, like Joe is saying here, that have really good ideas that you should definitely check out. Yeah, Anita, Ketogenic Woman, Marie Emmerich, Loving It on Keto. They have a lot of recipes that are sort of geared towards a lower budget focused diet kind of thing to help you get the results you want without breaking the bank. Because we do all know that eating healthy can be more expensive than eating some of the prepackaged processed stuff. So I get it. It can definitely be tough. I would kind of sort of, and I know if you're trying to shift into a keto lifestyle, a lot of people tend to go down that road of trying to buy the keto branded foods that are out there. I would, if it's something that will help you, stay on your keto diet, then by all means, then that's one good way to help get rid of cravings and stuff like that. But I would also suggest trying to, as quickly as possible, move to whole foods the most you can, right? That's the idea, is the cleaner the foods that we have. If it's just like straight meat and vegetables, that's, even if you don't go full keto, even if you just go with good quality proteins, good fresh vegetables, fruits aren't going to kill you if you're not eating them every day, right? Stick with some low carb fruits like strawberries and stuff like that, just to give you that satisfaction for what you're eating. You look at Paula and Jason from P&J's Homestead Adventure. They have just made they've made some really simple changes in their diet, and it has had big impact on their life. Like they're not full keto. They're just making some small changes, and it can really help. So I think I missed used chaffles as a taco shell a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. Yeah, that sounds good for sure. Just tried Rebel ice cream first time today. So good. Yeah, it's it is good for sure. I can't have it too often. It's still the dairy in it still doesn't sit too good with me, but yeah, it's definitely good for sure. And is there keto friendly snacks? Please and thanks. Yeah, well, my go-to keto friendly snack is pork rinds. Now I know pork rinds aren't for everyone, but that's if I need something crunchy sort of to replace the chips that I used to eat, the potato chips, my number one sort of go-to snack is pork rinds. Now there are other snacks out there you can make, but as far as like a grab and go kind of thing, that's what I go to. Kate saying good night and go Jays go. Absolutely. So on that note, why don't we wrap things up for tonight? I know there might be some people that have to go or will be going over to Two Crazy Ketos. Their live stream starts at 8:30 usually, so I won't keep everyone, but we will again have a recipe video out Saturday night, and we'll be back here next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully you'll all have a good weekend. Halloween's going to be here before you know it. And another struggle for us keto people out there getting through some of these holiday nights. But yeah, have a good weekend, and we will see you all next week right here on Just Jason Keto. Keep on thriving, my friends.